Hello, everybody. I'm Larry Ridley, and this is the NFL on EA Sports. Fasten your seatbelts for one of the great divisional rivalries in the NFL. This is the first of 2 games between these teams this year, and you know it's going to be entertaining. It's the Broncos going up against the Chiefs. So let's get you out to Kansas City as we say hello to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Well, Larry, the baseball regular season is wrapping up across the parking lot, but football season in full swing now at Arrowhead Stadium. Today, it's a matchup in the AFC West between the Denver Broncos and the Kansas City Chiefs. They come out here in the eye. Now a carry. It's C.J. Anderson. And this defense feeling the encouragement. They stop him at the line of scrimmage on the first play of the afternoon. The offense on your screen now, and our first look at C.J. Anderson.
And what a look it's going to be. Making a name for himself rapidly running the football.
Now here's a defensive timeout called by the Chiefs. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter.
Shut down.
So 2nd and 10 here. To throw on second is Simeon. And the catch made. This is Emmanuel Sanders. And a big face mask penalty here, 15 yards.
You never want to get your hands up in the face mask area because your fingers can get tangled up there, and that can hurt you as a player.
Now the offense lining up 1st and 10. Following the penalty, Anderson. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. 13 yards there on the pickup, and it'll be 1st down, Denver.
Anytime a team goes on the road, there's always that little bit of fear that maybe they can be affected by the hometown crowd. But this is where game planning really came into play. They talked about it all week. Go in there, establish yourselves. Well, that run right there, that slows down the crowd and gives them a lot of confidence.
1st down. Here's the run with Anderson. And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. And a glance now at the Chiefs' defense.
Marcus Peters is a former first-round pick who has great anticipation and tremendous ball skills.
They'll try the air now with Simeon. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
I know tight ends love this route because a lot of times they'll fake a block first and get a little bit of space and then come across the middle because in their mind, they're thinking catch the ball and then drop the hammer on the little guys in the secondary.
Unable to drop the hammer, he just dropped the pass. Offense trying to avoid stalling out, facing a 3rd and 10. Throwing on 3rd down, Simeon. Going to throw right side here, complete. 15 yards through the air and a 1st down.
In recent years, the slot receivers really gained stature in the NFL because they can do so many things. Yes, they can line up wide like your normal wide receiver, but they have that kind of courage and toughness to run routes in the middle of the field and become dependable targets for their quarterbacks and move the sticks. Those guys are worth their weight in gold.
Here's Simeon. Able to get away.
That's why you keep the legs churning.
And he maybe makes it back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. Nothing on that one. It'll be 2nd down. on second down. Anderson. And he is going to lose yardage here. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 11. They tried to run the counter, just that the defense wasn't fooled.
And when they're not fooled, you see the end result. Because what you're doing there, you mentioned the counter. You're using your offensive linemen sometimes to pull or move, to influence the defensive front, to go in that direction and create the space back in the other side and block it appropriately. But you're exactly right. Didn't move him, sat there waiting for him and made the play. I know ultimately that feels like a good defensive play, but I know it's really not. They had a chance to keep points off the board. Now they have a chance to kick a field goal by missing that shot.
Yeah, especially at this spot in the field. He's got to be upset he couldn't come up with that INT. And this one is right through. And the Broncos, the first to grace the scoreboard. It's 3-zip. So our initial drive here this afternoon results in 3. I'm not sure that was a statement necessarily, but getting points on the road, never a bad thing.
No question about it, Brandon. You had a crowd that was all fired up during pregame introductions, yet you're able to quiet them just a little bit by taking the early lead.
They come out here in the eye. On the ground, it's the first carry here for Jamal Charles. Shreds the tackle, and he'll go down right at the 30-yard line. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5. And a look at this offensive unit now, and you see who we have highlighted, partner.
Jamal Charles, one of the most exciting, productive running backs in the NFL.
Now it's Smith. Caught. Kelsey, left side. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one.
Counting down toward the midway point in corner 1. Smith on first down. The tight end Kelsey has it over the middle. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory.
And after that completion, you can understand why so many teams in the league are emphasizing speed on defense at every position. The tight ends have created so many tough matchups now. If you can't run with a tight end as a linebacker, this is going to be the result every time.
And he takes it down to the 40 with a pickup of 4. The All-Pro Von Miller there on the tackle. And a look now at how the Broncos line up defensively.
Brandon Marshall, no, not the wide receiver, a quality linebacker who can cover very well.
So 2nd and medium, 2nd and 5 now. Out of the gun, Smith. They're complete. This is Albert Wilson. And he's going to get this inside the 30. 12 yards there as they move the chains.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
They go play action here on first down. And he finds a man on a crossing route. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. Cool under pressure right there, escaping the pocket and finding what I think was not his primary target.
And some of these guys are just so comfortable getting outside of the pocket that they'll do it on purpose. Doesn't even need to be a breakdown. They move, and they know it affects the defense. Because a lot of times you get lost in coverage in the secondary. And I think you're exactly right. Wasn't his primary target. Found a secondary guy who sprang open, probably because of his movement out of the pocket.
First down, it's Charles again. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. Great play there off the end. Question, Charles, in a 4-3, you hear about the D tackles a lot. What's the role of the ends?
What they want to do is control the edges of the defense. And you always hear about an offense talking about setting the edge in the running game. Well, the defense wants to do exactly the same thing. And the defensive end, often against an offensive tackle, sometimes a tight end, they can't let themselves get a hook and let a running back get outside. Because if they do that, that hurts the integrity of the defense overall.
My man, the encyclopedia. Boy, the evolution of the game and how these guys in plays like that can get out of the pocket, keep plays alive, it just makes things so much harder for defenses.
It really does, and we're talking about an era in the game where the quarterbacks are the most athletically gifted that we've seen in a bunch. I mean, when you talk about collectively, it's unbelievable. So their ability to move is practiced now. It's not necessarily, oh, he just took off and you guys figure it out. When he takes off, everyone knows where to go now. They know how to run routes, change things, make themselves presentable for the quarterback. It's a lot of time that they put in on it. It's not just your static 1, 2, 3. This is where the ball goes anymore.
Long drive. The defense just cannot seem to catch a break and get off the field. To throw on second down is Smith. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. Albert Wilson, the intended receiver there. And it's 3rd and 5.
After all the preparation, all the practice, a play like that will absolutely break your heart. They had everything they wanted, just unable to complete it. In the end zone, a big-time drop.
And now for the offense, this is play number 11 here on this drive. An extra defensive back on the field here for 3rd and goal. And this seemingly endless drive continues. Now Smith on 3rd and goal. And that is caught for a touchdown, Kansas City. Albert Wilson, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Chiefs are going to take a first-quarter lead. Well, that's about as quick of a passing touchdown as you'll ever see right there.
Everyone has a section in their playbook called the quick game. That was a super quick game. Out of the hands of the thrower, bam, right to the receiver, successfully for a touchdown.
How in-depth is that quick game part of the playbook?
It's pretty in-depth because people want the ball in the hands of the quarterback into the playmaker's hands downfield as fast as possible. There are a lot of plays, a lot of options involved with that.
And an alley to run. There he goes right side. And all the way home for a Broncos score. A great play there. 101 yards. And the Broncos have retaken the lead.
That was a special return, and it happened because he's a special returner. He has to have that approval from his special teams coach's head coach to bring it out of the end zone.
But let's be honest, a lot of times when they bring it out of the end zone like he did there, they don't have approval. I mean, I think a lot of times they do, but correct me if I'm wrong. Sometimes it's just a guy getting a feel, right?
You're exactly right. What's the old adage? Sometimes you just have to know when to break the rules, and if you do, you're taking on some responsibility, but he was happy to do so there.
Back here with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. We've had the kickoff to begin the first quarter. Now it's time for the second quarter kickoff as they'll take over with the ball 1st and 10. Out now the Chiefs offensive unit ready to do battle again. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with it?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
A first down carry here for Charles. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
I know the toss play begins with the guy taking the snap and turn around and tossing it to the runner. But where the real intrigue is Can they seal the edge, whether it's an offensive tackle or a tight end in the direction they want to run the football? If they do that, that's the result that you get, that type of a gain. If they don't, oftentimes it's not a very successful play.
They'll keep it on the ground with Charles again. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line.
Tough day, tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there.
Watch left, watch left. Tight end to the left, tight end left.
On 1st and 10, Smith. And to the left side here, Wilson. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. Remaining here on 2nd down. A shotgun snap for Smith. They complete it to Hill. The 20. And all the way in for a Kansas City touchdown. Tyreek Hill, his first touchdown of the year. And the Chiefs are once again going to retake the lead. And a nice job by him to catch the slant and then navigate and break free.
And receivers love slant routes because it gets the ball in their hands so quickly and oftentimes on the move. And when they're on the move like that, then they get to use their best asset, which is usually their speed.
And their speed sometimes, like this instance, can take them into the end zone. And Denver getting set to take the field. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. Two receivers left, one to the right. On 1st down, it's Simeon. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. 7 yards there on the 1st down screen play.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still ended up with a solid game.
2nd down now after the pass completion. A play fake to Anderson. It's Simeon. Oh, and a bad throw there. It's intercepted. Picked off by the safety here, Ron Parker.
And that's a great example of ball skills right there, partner. You and I do a lot of games, and I can't tell you how many guys look to run with the football before they've intercepted it. So that's a nice job of focusing on the task at hand and coming away with the interception.
After the interception, here's Smith. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Von Miller in there to make the sack. He buries him for a loss of 10.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
And the D-line pinching together must be expecting the run. On 2nd down, here's Smith. A hit as he throws there, incomplete. They got pressure there and only rushing 3.
And there's a defensive coordinator right now who is celebrating not just getting home with 3 there, but realizing if that's the type of pressure he can get in the entire game, then his pass defense is going to be excellent. You're dropping 8. Where are you going to go with the football?
It's a 4-receiver look to the right side. Back to throw, Smith. Over the middle, it's Thomas. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. Call it a gain of 5. And that's going to bring up a 4th down. So here's Dustin Colquitt now to punt this away for the Chiefs. He'll send this one into the Midwestern air, and it's a good one. That one sails out of bounds. The side judge will walk it off. And he says it went out of bounds at the 9-yard line. Nice punt. Now this Broncos offensive unit ready to head back out onto the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose.
And now the rookie's free. He's at the 40, 20, 10, and all the way home for a Broncos score. Their dangerous wide receiver, 91 yards. And the Broncos have once again taken the lead. So from back deep in their own territory, all the way into the end zone, you think they expected to score on that one?
I'm not sure they expected to score, but they also showed that they're not averse to taking a little bit of a risk there, right? Taking a chance, because the normal call is take care of the football, run it, be safe. Instead, they put it in the air and took a gamble, and it paid off in a big way. That wasn't an analytics call. That wasn't a fantasy guy's call. That was like a video game call right there.
It was a little bit of a video game call, but it worked. Here's the Kansas City offense now as they get set to take over. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play. When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go, because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Charles, the low setback. He's going to get the football. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Call it no gain that time, as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go. Smith on 3rd down. And it's complete to Kelsey. And he will have first down yardage as he's brought down at the 41.
They were full scale, loose, flexible, finding a way to catch the ball in some traffic for a key first down.
And really a nice job of adjusting to the ball in the air. Not the most accurate of throws, but able to adjust and make the grab. Smith on first down. And he's got the hook up for the first time with a veteran, Jeremy Maclin. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down. Seven yards to go on 2nd down. 5 wides in the game, 4 of them to the right side. Now it's Smith. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
So 3rd and 7 and an extra defensive back on the field here.
Definitely want to play coverage here.
And a neutral zone infraction on the defense.
The defense thought they had the timing count on the quarterback's cadence, but they jumped too soon.
Double tight, guys, double tight. 3, 4.
Following the penalty, here's Charles. And he's got enough for the first across midfield to the 48. And they pick up the first down there with a gain of 4. So 2 minutes to go in a wild first half. We're back to Arrowhead after this. On 1st and 10, Smith. Out to the right here to Wilson. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of, until they stop him, why not go back to it? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
To throw on 2nd down is Smith. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 15.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
Travis Kelce, the Pro Bowl tight end, the intended target, and that'll bring up second down.
I know in every game we do, we talk about momentum. That was a momentum play lost. And now there could be a letdown because they didn't get the interception.
Yeah, you could almost hear the collective gasp on the sideline as he could not come up with that football. Second down, a little more productive than first. 7 yards on the gain. It gets him to 3rd and 3 now.
That was a really nice run there to bring up 3rd and short. After the incompletion on 1st down, it's awfully nice to have a running back that you can hand it to and put you back in a good situation.
And a really long drive here, and it goes on and on.
And the Broncos go to a nickel set on 3rd down.
Yeah, they've got an extra DB out there. This will be caught at about the 5. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. Defense has set themselves up nicely. 3rd and 10 now. It's a 4-receiver look to the right side. Now Smith. This will be caught at the 2. And he will take it on in for a Chiefs touchdown. Travis Kelce, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Chiefs are once again going to retake the lead. And his kick is good. Now, after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. And Denver getting set to take the field. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
To throw with Simeon, and it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down.
Well, partner, the hit sure looks like a simple route, but I think the issue with it is a lot of time when you're making that play, you're actually working your way back inside towards traffic where the big guys are coming from inside out, whether it's defensive ends or linebackers. And a lot of the time, instead of securing the pass, your eyes might stray towards the middle and wonder where the big hit's going to come from.
2nd and 10, Simeon again. This is intercepted. Picked off by the free safety, Eric Berry. And his guys will set up shop at midfield at the 50-yard line. Now the Chiefs offense, they get ready to head on the field. And that last drive, so effective in the passing game, resulting in the touchdown. Maybe not many people were focused on the trenches. There was good protection there.
Excellent protection. So now defensively, you've almost got to get down in those starters blocks like you're a sprinter. Get lower than those guys on offense and find a way to roar through them or around them to get into the face of the passer.
Easier said than done, though.
Way easier said than done. But they've got to try something because right now they're just cutting them to shreds.
Offense still needing 10 yards. Second down. They come up in an empty set. 4 wide receivers, 1 tight end. From the 50, it's Smith. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
It's a tried-and-true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
Not only was that a 3-and-out, it was a 3rd straight incompletion on this drive, and they didn't even think about trying to run the football. Now they have to give it up. And the
Kicks away as he angles this one for the sideline. And this will depend on the spot as it sails out of bounds. And they'll say it sailed out at the 10-yard line. So the Broncos coming out now. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. So the run gets them the first, and now they operate with a fresh set of downs. Yeah, that one was relatively easy to see. I noticed that from up here.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot, does it? Sometimes you get multiples. What I always love on these offsides is when each side points at the other. Hey, you did it. No, you did it. They deciphered that one correctly.
They go play action here on first down. Got a man over the middle, and it's complete. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10.
All right, here we go. 3-19. 3-19. All right, now, lucky finish it. Lucky finish.
On first down, it's Simeon. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. On second down, here's Simeon. And for the 3rd time here this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by Quandre Diggs. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. Now the Chiefs offense, they get ready to head on the field. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. So as they take it over, we step aside. The final shot here before break. Smith looking deep downfield. And at the 7-yard line, the catch is made. And he's in for the touchdown on the final play of the first half. The prayer is answered.
How did they get that done?
And they extend their lead, a little added cushion into the lockers. What a way to finish.
Tremendous way. That's momentum that they carry in with them. Can they convert it and bring it back out to start the 3rd quarter?
So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. This is fielded at the goal line. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Here comes the Chiefs offensive unit as they'll have it to begin quarter number 3. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. Here's Smith now on second down. Over the middle here to Wilson. And he takes this one just shy of midfield all the way to the 49.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
So after that big play, let's see if they can catch their defense maybe on their heels. Now a first down throw. It's Smith. Flushed out right. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. That one goes for 24 yards.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he's able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a first down.
They come up in an offset eye. Smith going to turn and give to Charles. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. And third quarter here, you've got the lead. This is where that strong run game can really benefit you. Stayed in bounds there, kept the clock going.
I like all the points you just made there. And if you throw the football and it's incomplete, now you've stopped the clock and you've helped out the guys on the other side of the ball. So keep it in the hands of those runners. Keep moving it. Keep grinding clock.
8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down.
Slant route's effective no matter who's running the route and catching the ball. But when you have a receiver of that stature, you have to be a little bit more precise throwing it. You don't have the same catch radius with the bigger targets.
And I see an extra defensive back on the field. Little surprise here on 3rd and 1. He's going to find his running back. It's complete. He'll wind up being stopped for no gain, and it'll lead to a 4th down. Well, if you're going to pass on 3rd and 1, you better get a first down if you complete it. They completed it, but no gain.
The aiming point has to be beyond the first down marker where you throw the ball. 3rd and 1, you can't have anything that's even close to the line of scrimmage. Otherwise, you run the risk of what we just saw there, not getting the first down.
And Santos able to put this one up and through. It's good, and that will get the lead up to 14. So it's a 7-play drive, but it stalls out in the end.
Let's credit the defensive front 7. They were a little leaky at the start of the drive, but they stiffened toward the end.
And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. A look at the offense now here, coming back out on the road for their first possession of the second half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second half?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
Completed pass play. Now let's see if they go back to the air or to the ground. To throw on second is Simeon. And a quick throw here, that's complete. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people up to block in front of him, either fellow receivers or offensive linemen? That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
Now Anderson shrugs the tackle.
Nice.
And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. Give them 13 on the pickup there. And it's a first down for the Broncos. On first down, Simeon. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8.
Well, the strategy was evident there. Get it to your tight end and make it a one-on-one play with a cornerback. Who's usually going to win that one?
The tight end, but not there.
Not in this situation. How about the corner defeating that logic and making a really nice tackle?
A play fake to Anderson. It's Simeon. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
Looked like they had an opportunity for a big play across the middle, but he didn't have the concentration or the focus necessary and dropped it before he could haul it in.
Third down here for the offense after the incomplete pass. Throwing on third down, Simeon. Oh, he almost intercepted it. They're just forcing it into too many tough spots. That was almost a fourth pick in the game. And now fourth down. Here's Ryan Quigley now, as he should be able to pin him back deep here with his first punt. Here's Thomas. 8 yards on the return following a punt of 41. And the Chiefs are going to take over with a long field ahead and a 1st and 10. And now here comes Kansas City. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
On 2nd down, Jamal Charles. And he goes across the 20 to the 22. A nice job to get 8 there after the incompletion, and now they'll look at a 3rd and 2 coming up.
And once again, leverage wins. The offensive line, lower than the defensive front. They moved them and found some good space for the guy carrying the ball.
And he is going to lose yardage here. Now it appears we're going to get whistles and a stop, a man down on the return. We'll step aside and get an update when we return to Arrowhead. He gets this away. It's a good one. Drawing toward the sidelines. And this punt will go out of bounds. I think it'll be inside the 25, and it will. Right at the 24-yard line is where they'll spot it. And Denver getting set to take the field. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. And he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 and a KC touchdown. Short throw pick 6 right there. Those linebackers, they love when those short throws come and those eyes get real wide, don't they?
How about the anticipation on the play? Reading, reacting, and then the ability to catch the football and take it in the opposite direction.
So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. And Denver getting set to take the field. Try to fire up the running game with C.J. Anderson. Gets this to the 24 for a gain of 4. A couple of Chiefs there to bring him down.
And that's exactly what you want on a first down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
Again, Anderson. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. Give him 4 on the carry, and it'll make this a 3rd and about 2.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
Play fake to Anderson. Now Simeon. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. At 5 yards on the play there as the drive will continue.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the first. Simeon. Left side here to Sanders. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. And a pretty simple completion there underneath, but a successful one for the offense.
Partner, it doesn't have to be the big shots downfield all the time. Having that safety net underneath is a great thing for a quarterback.
So they complete the pass, and now they face a second down. Play action. It's Simeon. Oh, look at Thomas wide open. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Let's go. Here we go. Detroit.
10th carry now for Anderson. And some good tackling there as he stopped up at about the 41. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held them to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
We're back now in KC. It's the Broncos trailing, but they do have possession of the football as we begin quarter number 4. See if they stay on the ground for second down.
Let's go.
On second down, here's Simeon. And on the catch right side, this is Sanders. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
That was a nice completion on an out route, and those types of plays are the result of arm strength by the quarterback and timing by the receiver.
They'll come out in the pistol. From the pistol, they run with Anderson. And he stopped immediately there. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
With the struggles we're seeing up front for the offense today, they've got to think about changing up their play calling. Some screens, some draws, some quick-hitting plays in order to try and supplement the run game. You don't totally abandon it, but you try and give it a little bit of help.
Here's Simeon now on second down. And he rifles one incomplete. Offense needs 11. Have to think pass here on third down. Thomas, the lone receiver, left. From the gun on third, Simeon. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And that one good for 16 yards and a first. So there on that play, offensively, they were in the crossing route. Defense was in zone coverage. So as a former DB, how tough is it to defend that?
It's really difficult because your natural inclination is to chase the receiver and maybe leave your zone. So you have to have discipline in order to talk to your other coverage guys and let him know that that receiver's crossing from your zone to the next zone. He's coming your way. Make sure you have him. And then when the ball is actually thrown, secure the tackle. When they're moving on crossing routes, if you miss a tackle, it usually results in a big play.
And now for the offense, this is play number 11 here on this drive. First and goal. Defense with their backs against the wall. And he'll fight forward maybe to the line of scrimmage, but that's all. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be second and goal.
And as we've seen throughout this season, it's no picnic trying to score touchdowns against this unit. They're ranked number 1 against the run. But it's also difficult because...
And he'll get in. Touchdown, Denver. C.J. Anderson, his second touchdown on the season. And the Broncos get a bit closer. And there you go. Nothing really too complex. Block, keep to your assignments, let them run it in. They did it.
Fundamental football. Good blocking beats good tackling on that play. End result, touchdown.
The Broncos kickoff unit out there to kick this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he is out of bounds here on the return. And this will get out of bounds. No worries there, though. That still goes as a touchback. And out come the Chiefs now. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hope they flip the field.
And just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. And in this situation with the lead, fourth quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line. But it was stopped on that play. We've had plenty of carries all afternoon. Every now and then the defense is going to win one, but I don't think they'll shy away from handing it to them the rest of the game.
To throw it, Smith. They're able to locate Wilson. And he will have first down yardage as he's brought down at the 41. And defensively, they just don't seem to have much of an answer for this passing game.
Not at all. Look at the confidence that's exhibited here. With that type of a lead, clock on their side, instead of running it, they're still throwing it, trying to pick up first downs and keeping the football.
As they've done all day, they run with Charles. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
2nd down following the run. Shipped together here from the D-line. Again, it's Charles. And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage. The fourth quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up at the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
The Broncos going dime. 2 extra defensive backs for 3rd down.
Playing pass all the way.
He's going to sling this deep downfield. And intercepted. Maybe the turning point they need. Picked off by the corner, Bradley Roby. And this one will be returned to right around the 38-yard line. And Denver getting set to take the field. And they're hoping to capture some of that magic they had last time out when they were able to put together a scoring drive. But they're still down here, Charles.
Not the major concern, though, because of what you talked about. They scored the last time out. They feel good about themselves. They feel like their game plan is now in effect. They know how to attack and what plays they want to put together. But they've got to keep it moving in the right direction because, as you did note, they are down on the scoreboard.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. Emmanuel Sanders, the intended receiver. And it's 2nd down.
Whenever they're trying to attack a zone defense, you're trying to figure out where your gaps are going to be. And depending on what type of zone they're playing, it could be on the outside, it could be in the middle, it could be in the seams, in the edges. In this case, they tried to attack the middle of the field, but this zone defense didn't allow it because they were able to see the ball come off the quarterback's hands, and everyone was able to react to the...
And my goodness, another interception. A great read, and it's picked off. And they'll set up shop right near midfield at the 49-yard line. And now here comes Kansas City. And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I can hear my old college coach right now. He always used to tell us before every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. What they're hoping is that last mistake is their only one of the game.
Coaches, that's all they talk about, turnovers, right?
Minimizing those and maximizing opportunities. And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. You'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
They come up at an offset eye. Now a 20th carry here for Jamal Charles. And the stop here will... Now the Broncos are going to take a timeout. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the fourth quarter. And a new set of downs here after picking up the first on the ground. Smith will hand it off here to Charles. Fighting his way down. And now the Broncos will burn another timeout here. So that will leave them with no timeouts left. Still plenty of time on the clock. We'll see how that affects things here in this fourth quarter. So the offense now dealing with a 2nd and 7. Charles. And he'll get a little over 2, maybe a full 3 down to the 32-yard line. A group of Broncos there combined to bring him down.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things. But the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
Time for a break. We'll come back to wrap this one up after this. And defensively going with a dime set. 6 DBs on 3rd and 4. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to get this one down to the 30. Give him a couple on the run as it brings up a 4th down.
But forget knowing where the first down line was. This defense created their own line of scrimmage. They won every battle up front. And a lot of times that is one-on-one. And if you win your one-on-ones enough times, your defense is going to be pretty good. They had more people to the football and snuffed out the play.
So they settled for just the 3 there, but clearly anything helps when you're trying to salt one away here in the 4th.
Without a doubt, I think a touchdown would have been the final nail. But 3 does give them some breathing room and lets him build up a little cushion.
And in the end, the decision to bring it out costs him a few yards as he's out of bounds just past the 20. And coming out now, the Broncos. They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive.
Well, partner, I think the defensive fellas got the memo, and they decided to cover him on that play.
Yeah, he's already up over 100 yards in this game. They tried a deep shot, couldn't get it.
Yeah, when you've had that much success, finally, someone said, let's try and put a stop to it and put people on him.
2nd down here after the incomplete pass. Second and 10, Simeon again. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
As tight ends go, he might not provide the super flashy plays very often, but he's pretty reliable. Usually an excellent target and normally catches what's thrown to him, but he didn't on that play.
So here we go now. An extra defensive back in there on 3rd and 10. To throw is Simeon. And this is intercepted. And that should do it. Picked off by the Pro Bowler, Marcus Peters. And he's able to get it back to the 33-yard line. So now here are the Chiefs as their offense makes their way back out onto the field. And after the field goal last time, let's see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
Victory in the cards now for the Chiefs as they take a knee here. Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually